brushing past you in a confined space, guiding you around the room unnecessarily using touch, high fives that last longer than they need to, touch games, touch that's inadvertent, touch that happens during stories, and touch that happens when you say goodbye. In this video, we're talking about 7 types of touch men employ when they are very attracted to you, sneaky little ways to touch you and form a connection with you when they really want you. Let's dive straight into what they are so you can recognize these and know that guy, have clarity on that guy's interest level. The first is unnecessary touch when he's brushing past you. So have you ever been in a room with a guy and there's enough space there realistically for the two of you to coexist, for him to come past you, for you to move past each other or around each other without you touching. And yet it seems like that particular guy, when he comes past you, oh, he's brushing up against you again. Oh, there he is. He just made it known that he needed to touch you as he moved past. That subtle little brush past touch. Unless the room is legitimately crowded to the point where he cannot find the space, a man's not going to touch every person he walks past. I mean, think about it. He's just not going to do that. All of the men and most of the women he's not going to touch. He doesn't want to bother them. So when it is someone he's interested in, oh, what a convenient little opportunity to touch her as I pass. Sneaky little grab for attention and a sign that a guy is definitely interested in you. Number 2 is unnecessary touch when guiding you around the room. So, the little hand guide that's not really necessary. Maybe it's the hand on the lower back, the upper back, just kind of steering you. Could even be with your shoulders, leading you around in some way. We've all been in the room where we go, oh, he's leading her around now. I mean, I used to do this when I was going out. I actually got taught this by a dating coach. He said, Mark, take the lead her around the room. It's also a good excuse to touch her. So I've done this one. I know it. When you're interested in a woman, you want to find a way to touch her, and leading her around the room obviously not only creates the physical contact, but allows you to take a little bit of a leadership role in the room. So if you notice that a guy is finding reasons to touch you, not just as he brushes past you, but also as he leads you around the social environment, pretty sure sign that guy really, let's just say, is very physically and potentially emotionally, we don't know that yet, interested in you. Number 3, this is an old classic. The extended high five. Oh, what a giveaway. It's funny. I used to use this one because it was actually a really interesting and pretty reliable gauge as to how interested a woman was in me. I remember high five, simple, spreading good energy around the room. And I can remember that when a woman would grab and hold it and then link fingers, I was very confident at that point that she was quite interested in me. So it was kind of a little litmus test that I used, and also just to see if I did it, if she would reciprocate. So that sneaky little high five extension, maybe it's, there's also other ways to do this, but high five is probably the most common. When you see that extension of touch, particularly on those high fives, yeah, that's a pretty good sign that the guy's He's trying to get in there. He's interested in you. Number 4 is touch games. So this is another flirty little thing that guys do. And again, guilty, done this myself. When we find little games, ways to touch you, I can remember all sorts of things that I used to try. Thumb wrestle was a classic one. It's cliche. It's silly, but it works. It was fun. There was little slap games that we used to play. What was another one? The good old palm reading. Touch game, anything that would allow you as a man, me as a man, or the men that are interested in you, anything that would allow us to touch you, especially your hands, kind of your fingers, that sort of area, in a way that was socially acceptable, especially if we could gamify it and make it fun. Magic. Brilliant way to be interested, show interest, create chemistry, and not have it be weird. So keep an eye out for those long high fives and the touch games, number 4, because yeah, that's a pretty sure sign that a guy is into you. Number 5 is a good one, inadvertent touch. So you sit next to him, you're around him, and you just notice, we're always touching elbows. We're always touching knees. Our feet are touching. I remember I went to a seminar. I think it was actually a Tony Robbins seminar, not a full seminar. He was just there for a couple of hours. But I remember going to the seminar and I sat down next to a woman and I noticed that our knees were touching. And once I realized that this was not inadvertent, once I realized this was continuing, I went, yep, okay, she's open to this. She's interested in me. I mean, she was attractive, so I wasn't gonna stop doing it. And she wasn't preventing the touch either. So I immediately went, oh, yep, she's into it. We went on a date later that afternoon, and certain intimacy happened. So it was a really good example for me of, oh, she wants to be touched here. She's into this. I've got the green light. That's okay. So just keep an eye out for any of those times where you end up in a situation, sitting, standing kind of around with a guy where, oh, he keeps inadvertently touching me. If you reciprocate, it'll be perceived as, hey, yes, this is a green flag. She's interested. Hopefully from there, I mean, you are interested. The guy can move things. Number 6, touching you with stories and at high points of jokes. So keep a lookout for the guy where it seems like whenever he tells the story, it could be to a group or it could be just to you, you notice that he puts in a lot of effort to kind of, oh, he touches me on the shoulder at the high points, or it's maybe a touch on the shoulder during a particular moment in the story. Look out for those types of touches. They're an easy one to do. And I know for me, I was very, very nervous using any kind of touch when I first started meeting women. I was so nervous that I actually gave my friend $100 and said, make sure that I, in a socially acceptable way, make sure that I touch and be more interactive tonight. And I said, don't give me that money back unless I do it. And it worked. I did do it. It got me got me over the fear and out of my comfort zone. I was so hesitant to touch though. And one of the best ways for me to get started was, tell a story to the woman, tell a story to her if you're interested in her, and then just touch her elbow at one of the high points. Don't make it weird. Don't watch yourself doing it, but just kind of interact and be a little bit more physical. I can remember one of the men that was very confident, he used to be kind of a master at this, and he would always be so touchy right from the get-go, and he wasn't ever doing it in a weird way. He would just be a socially touchy guy, and the women responded really well to that. So if a guy is touching you like that, if you notice that, oh, he's touching me at the high points and he's kind of making that extra effort to touch, he's interested. It's a sure sign that, yep, he's finding those reasons to be physical with you and he's wanting to move things. And number 7, always a nice one, the goodbye touch, the extended goodbye touch, I should say. So my favorite was always, the extra long hug, the slightly delayed kiss on the cheek. It's just fun, isn't it? It's just fun. It creates that chemistry. It's sexy. If you're into it, it's really nice for you. It just works because naturally we're going to touch people when we say goodbye to them. So there's kind of a really good pretext for this one. You can get in there as a man. We can hold the woman, we can hold you, kiss on the cheek, hold you that little bit longer, hold your hands maybe down below where no one else can see it. And it creates that really good, I like you. We both know there's something there. That very early stage of touch when you say goodbye to a man, if he extends that, it's a sure sign that he is, in fact, very attractive. That's the video. Leave a comment below. Have you experienced this from a guy? What was it like for you? I'd love to hear from you. And if you need anything from me, book a one-on-one session, whether it's to take advantage of my no man, no fee guarantee, to get a guy who's that into you, or to work through things with one you already have. Hit the link below to get the service. Thanks again for watching. Hit the subscribe button with the little bell so you get the notifications, and give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.